Refereeing associations finally have some opposition from clubs, and Erik Ten-Hag couldn't be any more proud of his Manchester United team. You're watching Foot and Mouth. Welcome back to Foot in Mouth. Ethan, I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Sheesh. Hey, I'm in the final. United's in the final.
You got
2 years in a row.
You got to give credit where it's due. It was a journey to get there. We'll get on to that.
Golly.
Look, to start off the show, I just want to say, obviously, Inter Milan crowned Serie A champions. We didn't give daps to Bayer Leverkusen when they were crowned champions. And I'd be remiss if we didn't, because obviously it's a huge moment in football, I'd say. Whenever it's a first-time achievement for any club in the big five leagues, it's pretty cool.
Like Bundesliga that's been so dominated by
Bayern,
bro.
bro.
So for another team, especially like Leverkusen, who nobody expected, they're not Dortmund or whatever.
Exactly. That's the only other team that you would ever consider, really.
And I mean, they're still winning in the Europa League. They're
still unbeaten.
They beat West Ham, so the unbeaten thing could literally continue.
In the Bundesliga, also over the weekend, they ended up scoring like a 98th minute equalizer to avoid defeat. So they are still undefeated. Shout out Granit Xhaka. I mean, dude went there, made a move a lot of people didn't understand, myself included, and he is now a league champion.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I did not think that would happen.
I think it's also the end of any speculation of Wirtz moving to the Prem next season, at least, because that dude's going nowhere. They're going to try their best to keep that team together, and why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, Inter Milan won, obviously. I see talk again of, with the Serie A talk, Lukaku is still a Chelsea player. I forget this. He's been at Roma.
Yes, he's been at
Roma.
Yeah.
So in the mix of reading all the Serie A stuff, and I've seen Chelsea fans starting to warm up to the idea of going, well, look at the striker market. Might as well just keep him, even though he's burnt the bridge, you know what I mean? Pun intended.
That is a good one.
But yeah, to the news. Real hot talking points. I think it started... Was the Fathers game first or the El Clasico? Do you remember? Either way. We've got Barcelona furious with their refereeing associations in La Liga because of... justified. There were some shambolic calls in that game. But staying close to home in the Premier League, Nottingham Forest,
I mean, you saw that like the ball. The argument is what the ball didn't cross the line. The ball did cross the line.
There were two basically.
I'm talking about the one with Jamal, that young dude. I think he took the shot.
Oh yes, the one that they ruled where the ball didn't go over the line when it did go over the line.
It pretty clearly went over the line. Yeah, look, we'll get into the Nottingham Forest one, but I did see that I think he's like the president of Barca or whatever, but he said he's open to them just replaying the game.
He said, but they announced. Did you see that they did release the audio? And in the audio, there's the VAR constantly say, oh, this angle's not good, we can't see, and then they just play on. And then I don't think, obviously, the Barcelona owners weren't happy with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are yet to see if there is. I don't think we've ever seen an El Clasico rematch. I think I've seen a rematch played in my lifetime of watching football.
They don't often happen, but I think it's such a big game. I'm sure it is justified, but
this is football.
I just think, like, where do you draw the line then? Because, like, we'll get Everton Nottingham Forest. Do they replay that game? You know what I mean? Do we just replay every game where there's a bad ref call?
This has always been the big debate.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think this is also why a lot of people are like, we might as well not have VAR, because when there was no VAR, you kind of just took it at face value and went, that's football.
Yeah.
But now you've got all this fancy technology that is supposed to cut out errors, and still things like this. I can't believe that goal for Barcelona was just like, nah, just move on, bro.
Look, there is an argument to be made about like maybe VAR shouldn't exist yet. Maybe it's too soon. You know what I mean? Maybe the technology, bro. But I mean, like, maybe we can get to the point where it's all it's all AI. You know what I mean?
But yeah, I mean, we are seeing that now with the offside
things. So I'm sure that's gonna happen with like everything. You know what I mean? Balls going over the line. Everything. It can all be AI.
They took her.
Basically, and I think at this point, let's talk about the Nottingham Forest thing. So this is a major game. This is a relegation derby. Both of these teams are fighting to survive. Both of these teams are having points taken away from them weekly. So yeah, in this game, what basically happens is there's three very iffy penalty calls. I think Ashley Young was involved in all of them.
Ashley Young, at one of them, he literally he pulled a face where it's kind of like he knew full.
I'm sure. Even in the Grealish handball, he knew what he was doing.
Grealish, that chuckle, bro.
These players know exactly what's happening. So yeah, you could argue all three of them should have been pens. I honestly think at least two of them should have been pens.
They have definitely more than enough grounds to call for a replay.
Yeah. so after that, well, actually before that, Forest basically went to the PGMOL and they said, we don't want this dude to work the VAR because he's a Luton fan.
They literally said that.
So they told him that before the game. Obviously, the PGMOL did nothing. They didn't change anything. So they played the game, and then after the game, Nottingham Forest put out an official statement where they were like,
"We warned you."
Yeah, we said. We this shit is this is a complete farce. We told you about the dude in VAR who was a Luton fan. There's at least 3 penalties. None of them happened. And then they basically just calling out VAR in general.
Yeah, for being just incompetent, bro.
Which again, yeah, I agree. I'll even get to the Coventry United game. Imagine being a Coventry fan. You score that last goal.
Bro.
The referee flag stays down. You celebrating. This is the biggest moment in Coventry's life.
Gets ruled out.
And then after a minute of deliberation, they're like, all right, actually, that was offside. And it's literally the tiniest fucking offside you could ever imagine.
It doesn't give the attacker any real advantage.
No, it doesn't at all. And also, it's just out here ruining games, dude. It's literally just ruining games.
And what I feel like is, I feel like when it started out, there was that moment when everyone was, scared to celebrate a goal just because you never knew.
You never know.
And then I felt like we worked our way out of that a little bit. And now, again, it's it's just up in the air anytime anything happens on the pitch, bro.
It is.
Nowadays, you see a goal scored and they're pulling back for a foul that happened, almost a full minute ago.
And it is ruining games. As from a fan perspective, it is 100% ruining games. So I'm kind of in the camp of
get rid of it.
Yeah, obviously you can't do it now. The season's basically done.
Yeah.
But I'm saying next season, either you change it up or you get rid of it completely.
I think they probably put too much money into it to accept that they gotta let it go. Too.
And also I think they like having that power.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they don't want to.
There's nothing wrong with the tech. It's the people operating it, bro. And the thing is, I feel like we're at a point now where you can kind of see the usual suspects.
Yes.
So why are they constantly getting put in there?
Exactly.
If someone has a track record, it seems like it's the easiest thing to identify and go, cool, you don't work in this room anymore.
Yeah. Especially City. City have had a lot of calls go their way this season.
Yeah,
a ton.
It's getting completely out of hand. And yeah, like you say, these are two clubs that are facing relegation, bro. It's one thing when it costs someone a title.
Yeah, this is for you fighting for your life.
It's just as bad if you're costing someone their place in the Premier League, bro.
But did you see Carragher and Neville are both vehemently defending it? They're saying that it's it's disgraceful that Forest put out the statement. Their argument is the complete opposite. Their argument is you shouldn't say anything.
Normally it's an either or.
No, they both. But again, though, they both work for Sky.
Yeah,
I'm
sure
they are
absolutely on the payroll.
You know what I mean?
I'm sure. Talk out against
why would they say that it's bad?
That's true.
So yeah, look, it's worth arguing. I think at this point though, there's too many issues. Literally, we're having more issues now than we did before.
You've been against it for a while. I've always argued for it. I definitely have way less reasons to argue for it, and I wouldn't be upset if we go back to an era of no VAR.
Even if it's just for 1 season, 2 seasons, until we can get that technology really to the point where it's works perfectly, no issue, no one can they were or I was watching Goldbridge, and I think Goldbridge suggested this, but just separate the VAR team from the referee team.
Yes.
Have VAR be completely independent.
They should be an independent freaking...
Yeah, because there's too many friends and homies who want to I don't want to say you wrong, so we're going to... There's too many of that things happening, and you can't avoid that.
We've heard it before. I think it's Paul McDermott or whatever that ex-referee's name is, where they pull into the studio, I think maybe on Sky, when they ask him about certain decisions, and they'll be like, what do you think as an ex-ref? Was it the right call, wrong
Sky have that show where they go over the referee.
There've been times before, at least one time, where the referee had said, oh, what I think happened there was the VAR was oh, that's my pal, I don't want to make him look like a fool.
Exactly.
That's one game, bro.
And you can't change that. As much as you want, you can't.
People have feelings, people have relationships.
People are going to be biased in certain ways.
Yeah.
And you can't change that. So the only way to do that is to have someone who's completely not involved.
Just people that
completely separate. Yeah.
Live in a blacked out room.
Yeah, they shouldn't even see the ref. They shouldn't know the ref's name. They should just be alright, you think that? Give us time, we'll deliberate, we'll give you an answer.
Dude, and you'll probably get quicker decisions because now there's not going to be, oh, what did Gary say? It's just going to be what did this idiot say?
But yeah, look, let us know what you think. Should VAR stay? Should VAR be gone?
It's never going to be a discussion that stops until it's actually gone, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess until it actually works.
But there's even still, there's too many variables and things going on. As soon as you have people involved in it, there's issues.
The downside, because even there, like you want to look at the World Cup, which had an almost flawless officiating speed, but then you look at Argentina's run, and there were some questionable calls, like that Argentina-Holland game, for example. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but at least that was pinpointed to the ref on the pitch.
Yes.
No one was like, VAR was such a shambles, bro.
And I think they were testing that, like, that AI generated offside thing.
And it worked.
Yeah, and it did work. So look,
I saw AFCON getting a lot of praise for their refereeing and stuff. So
if we could just get more like robotic decisions making, not people making the decisions, just straight up like fact, that's offside, that's onside. That would be the best way to do it.
I'm sure a lot of fans would prefer that. But let us know what you guys think. Ethan, not the only thing making headlines this weekend, but Erik Ten-Hag has been speaking in press conferences following Coventry. How do I even put this in a word? How big that win was for United, the Coventry game.
No, it was massive.
So let's go back. Obviously, United versus Coventry. We expected a United win, comfortable United win.
Remember, I said the week before, let's just get a result. I don't care about the way it happens. I don't care about the performance. Let's get a result. And golly, we almost didn't even get a result.
From 3-0 up?
From 3-0 up. And look, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch the whole game because at some point when it was 3-0 up, I figured, hey,
safe.
Yeah, this game's done. I think
bro.
a lot of people assume that. We saw people leaving the stadium and shit as well. I think a lot of people assume that 3-0.
Job done,
The
bro.
game was just like 70
Coventry
minutes in.
Just came for vibes anyway.
Exactly. So I was like, fuck, we went to the gym.
Yeah, so I kind of talked him into it also. I was like, Ethan, come on, bro.
But yeah, so I didn't see what was happening live. But
what were the goal scorers again of those three?
Of the Coventry goals?
No, United.
Golly, I was going to say, I'm lost. McTominay, okay, so let's get into it. McTominay scored a nice first goal early in the game. It was a good team goal. We worked it out to the wing. Someone I think it was Delo, just hit a square ball into the box.
Something you'd expect to pull off against a championship side.
No, you'd expect a lot of things to be pulled off. But and then I think the second goal...
Maguire.
Yeah, Maguire scored a header off a corner, which shout out to Maguire. I can't blame Maguire.
Yeah.
He had a good game. Even at the end when like we saw Anthony cupping his ears at some of the Coventry fans. Maguire immediately, as soon as the penalties were done, head down, went to go shake their hands. He was like, good game, lads. Professional. That's kind of the response you should have in a game like this. And then the third goal, I think it was Bruno. I think Bruno got the third goal. So yeah, look, it's up and like the whole first half was all United because Coventry basically just sat back and low blocked, which I mean
expected.
You were a low level team playing against United. I know it's not the same United of old, but you're not going to expect to go there and play an open, free flowing game.
Not at all, bro.
So the first half was very much all United. Coventry sat back. They let us take those goals. We took them. And then I mean even up until like the 60th, 70th minute when Bruno scores again, why wouldn't Ten-Hag make subs at that point? You 3-0 up. Why wouldn't you make subs?
There's no need to keep all these players, senior players, especially on.
Especially when you have a game now coming up on Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like
and United still need points in the Prem.
We need points. So look, I'm not. This isn't Ten-Hag's fault. This game isn't Ten-Hag's fault.
You don't think so?
No. You can't blame him. You know, you can say like, oh, he made the wrong subs. Bro, he took off Garnacho and Mainu and he put on Eriksen and Anthony.
Garnacho also came off because of an injury, isn't it?
But I'm saying like Anthony and Eriksen aren't fucking,
they are much more senior than the players coming off.
Exactly. Like that shouldn't be a question. You shouldn't be, I know obviously Mainu and Garnacho are our best players. Yeah. But we shouldn't need them. No. And I know Casemiro is playing as a defender. You shouldn't need to be in his normal position. This is Coventry. Yeah. We are literally playing a championship team that is 8th in their league.
And those are some experienced players you just mentioned. Eriksen, Casemiro. Like at the very least, you're not expecting them to win you guys titles, but you're expecting them to carry to
see out a 3-0. But yeah, so Coventry do get a nice goal, and I think with
71st minute, the first one,
and then within 8 minutes they score another one, which is I think it was the deflection off of Basaka. You know, it's unlucky. It's a deflection of Wan-Bissaka. You couldn't score that goal if you wanted to. You know what I mean? It's literally just bounced off the dude and went in. So yeah, that's unlucky. Whatever. But in classic United fashion, clearly there was a complete capitulation by the team. And again, this isn't the first time we've seen it. We've seen United is definitely a team of two halves. Yeah. We'll do decently in the first half, we'll do well in the first half, and we will completely suck in the second half, and vice versa.
Like Jekyll and Hyde, bro.
This isn't the first time. I mean, even looking at this, like
Chelsea.
Yeah, no, even looking like very recently, we haven't stopped doing this. We have played this way the entire season.
Yeah.
Which is why I say it is embarrassing. I know Ten-Hag wants to defend and say, we made it to the final.
But he's doing a bit much.
He is doing a bit much.
I think it is good to have reached another final.
Yes.
It's just the context.
And I mean, look, if you watch the pre-match press conference for this game against Sheffield now, Ten-Hag does kind of go off at the media because he's more in the thought of the reaction from media was embarrassing. The way they treated him, the way they treated the win.
I do agree with that to an extent.
Yes.
Not going to lie.
I agree with it as well. And I'm happy to see Ten-Hag get kind of feisty and angry and kind of step up a bit. Maybe this isn't the time to do it because, golly, that was embarrassing. That was for sure
this
embarrassing.
This isn't the game to use as your example.
But he does argue, 4 finals in 2 years. You know what
solid,
I mean?
Bro.
Like two FA Cup finals in 2 years. You can't argue with that. These are achievements. Mm-hmm. But again, even looking at the run to this game, we beat Newport, we beat Wigan. I think we beat Nottingham Forest,
and then Liverpool.
And then the Liverpool game is the only game where you can be like, shit, we deserve that.
That was a big one.
You know what I mean? That's a big one. But other than that, we haven't had a tough run to get here. So it's not like getting here is a major achievement anyway.
I guess his runs kind of count against him in all aspects. Even the Champions League group wasn't the toughest.
No, it
group.
wasn't the toughest at all. And again, we saw in those games, United were 2-0 up in those Champions League games. We were 2-0 up and then completely threw it away.
That's true. It's been from the beginning of the season, actually, now that you talk about it.
But it's not Ten-Hag's fault. These players are garbage. This team is garbage. Yeah. And I think there's only so much Ten-Hag can do. I know he keeps playing Rashford or whatever. But
why wouldn't you though? With the team that's there, you would play Rashford.
Exactly. Even still, you can't really blame him for the decisions.
And even in Rashford is one player that I can think of who can have a season where fans will bash him and he comes out with 20 goals in the season.
No, he had a terrible season though.
But that's what I'm saying. As a manager, all you're thinking is he'll get a goal. He could get a goal, so I'm going to use him.
As a manager, you should also see all aspects. And I don't know if Ten-Hag just likes Rashford. I don't know if Ten-Hag's been told to play Rashford, but Rashford does seem to start almost every game.
He signed a new contract last season, huh?
Yeah, and he paid him $350K a week.
Yeah, I wanted him at Arsenal. I can't lie, bro.
I know, back in the day, I think and Marshall would have done well at Arsenal. But we did win this on penalties. Yeah. The penalties weren't great either.
Coventry equalized in the 95th minute. Who gave away the penalty for them?
It was a Wan-Bissaka handball. And even then, you look at literally the day before when Grealish is giving away a handball against Chelsea.
Wasn't given.
And it's no call.
It's same competition.
It's literally same competition, same field, everything.
That's true.
Everything is exactly the same. And for some reason, even though it was from further out and there was more time to react, that wasn't given. Yeah. This handball happened within the space of literally a couple meters.
This is the issue with people running VAR.
Exactly. And that we come back to VAR. VAR shouldn't exist.
Yeah. But Coventry, obviously, in this game, so they scored the 4th after this penalty. How much added time was there, bro?
What do you mean? They didn't score? It was 3-3 and then penalties.
Oh, and then straight penalties.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But you look, Casemiro missed his penalty. I don't know what the fuck he was going for. Casemiro is having just the worst season. Literally just the worst
Reminiscing about Real Madrid.
Dude, I don't know. Did you see that thing where Ancelotti said he was crying when he had to leave?
Yeah, well, he was saying, he said that Ancelotti was like, Cassie, I love you. Yeah. I didn't want you to go. And people are like, nah, but Ancelotti don't cry, bro.
Dude,
Ancelotti don't cry.
Look, whether he cried or not, I'm sure.
There's no way you wanted him to go.
Exactly. I'm sure we would have loved to have him stay. But yeah, this is embarrassing. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. Remember, I still said it's kind of going to be tough.
I predicted a clean sheet. You said United wouldn't walk over Coventry.
But I don't think anyone could have expected this. It almost feels worse that we won. You know what I mean?
Going into penalties. Were you confident at least, or were you like, I kind of hope we lose
on
this?
paper, I actually think United are very good penalty takers. Genuinely, yeah. I think Bruno's good. I think Casemiro. I think Casemiro should be good. I don't know why he wasn't. Eriksen is good at penalties. Dalot is good at penalties. Obviously, Højlund scored the last penalty. The one.
That's the only guy that had every right to celebrate. In my
exactly. Look, I know we're gonna talk about the celebration. He did. I mean, it's a huge achievement for him. He got the team to the finals now. He scored a penalty. He's
fresh from injury.
He's going to celebrate. This is his first year at United. You know what I mean? His first final.
He's young, bro. He's a kid, dog.
So I can't blame him I can blame Anthony for the ear cupping thing.
That was That was much. I just love that the picture that came out of it is the Coventry players smiling at him.
Literally looking at him.
They didn't care, bro. They made it to a semi-final of an FA Cup again and they lost to Man United on penalties. That is going to go down as a historic game for them, bro. Win or lose.
And not just that, there was a close offside call where they almost scored. And it probably should have counted. I'm going to be honest.
That was the fourth goal I was talking about, Joe, with Coventry and VAR ruling them out. Because you had said it was like by a fraction of offside.
It was very close. I think... I almost feel like Coventry deserve to win. Like it's very weird. I know we won. I know we're in the final, but golly, it feels terrible.
Obviously, you'll take it. You want to get to the final. However you get there is how you get there. Jose Mourinho has been crucified for playing some of the most boring football imaginable, and yet one of the most decorated managers in the game, bro. So, it is what it is. Obviously, you could have done without Anthony. Anthony, I think, especially put United in the bad light.
In the pre-match conference now, Ten-Hag did say that they were kind of goading Anthony on. Apparently, there was some instant that provoked him.
Of course.
So I'm sure he had his reason. It's still very unprofessional. You guys have scraped through a championship team. That is 8th in their own league. But I am glad that it's like Casemiro almost like for half the game he just looked bewildered. Like the look on his face, he was just like shocked. But I am glad that most of the team were able to like understand that we did barely scrape through. We shouldn't be fucking jumping for joy. We should literally just be like, literally take it. You made it. It's a win, whatever.
Yeah.
But this was not a good performance at all.
Someone else who looked baffled was Thiago Silva after they went out. Obviously, this was his shot at a final European League final in his career. He's obviously leaving Chelsea at the end of the season. Pretty big that game. Obviously, I know VAR is going to take headlines as well. But Man City versus Manchester United.
Yeah, look, the same game happened last year. City beat us. I think United will obviously closer to the date. I think it's on the 25th of May.
Yeah, we'll obviously get in. But I mean,
United is always in with a shout, especially in big games.
True.
Whether we play well or not is a different story. But we don't need to play well. They say like the best teams you don't need to play well we just need to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well. And United all season has kind of been doing that. Every performance has been shit. But we somehow do get some results, and I think in the big games, there's some hope.
Yeah.
Obviously, City is City.
We saw it against Liverpool, bro.
We saw it against Liverpool.
Twice.
Obviously, City is City, so you would expect them to win. But look, I'm not putting anything past United right now.
Yeah, and again, City did kind of need the help of the refs to get through
big time,
Chelsea,
and they've needed the help of the refs all season.
So it's anybody's game.
Anybody's game.
Let us know what you guys think of Man United celebrations over Coventry and Erik Ten-Hag's comments in the press conferences. Are they justified, bro?
Look, it's again, I have to emphasize this isn't Ten-Hag's fault. Him making those subs, that shouldn't have made a single difference to this team.
Yeah.
Y'all are 3-0 up.
I can sympathize
70 minutes. I think Ten-Hag also like. Obviously, people are now calling for Ten-Hag to go. Tuchel is obviously he's a name that's coming up. You can't get rid of Ten-Hag. It's fucking stupid if you do.
Not for Southgate.
Y'all are busy trying to get this. This is the team's fault. If we could get rid of like half of the players, that would be a lot better than getting rid of Ten-Hag. I know it's easy to put the blame on one person. The manager. The blame is always going to go to the manager. But you can see by the way these players play, they are garbage. They are shit.
In this Coventry game alone, United created 28 chances.
Yeah.
They had 28 shots. So you would assume that had they done their job, no one would be talking about Ten-Hag.
I'm sure none of those chances went to Oyland because that dude gets absolutely no service for this team. So look, United as a club have to get a lot of things in order, and I think very low down on that list is Ten-Hag. I think Ten-Hag at least has to stay this year and next year as well.
New manager means a restart. And
we can't do that again.
Can't afford one.
We're busy trying to get a fucking director of football in place. We have so many other things to worry about.
First,
exactly.
And then,
you saw Jim Radcliffe ran the London Marathon. You see that shit?
Yeah, how old is 70 odd now?
Yeah,
that's crazy, bro.
And I'm gonna make the same joke.
Imagine United fans next to him. So what are we gonna do?
I would have done that if I saw that dude running. But I'm gonna make the same joke that everyone else has. Can he do a job in midfield? Because if he can run a full marathon, dude, we could use him.
Maybe we can swap Eriksen out, bro.
But look, we are playing Sheffield this week now.
Yeah, good time for that. United do need a bit of a pick-me up.
The thing is, the Coventry
game
should have been
a big win on the way to a final.
Look, it is at United's home. And I again from the pre-match conference, Ten-Hag said there are a few like injury scares. Obviously, Garnacho came off, so he may not play. I think he said Rashford may not play. I think he also said McTominay may not play.
Oof, the goal scorers.
And I think he said Bruno has like a hand injury or something, but he probably will play.
This kickoff's tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night. So there are a lot of like maybes for this game, and I'm sure for some people Rashford is injured. I'm sure a lot of people celebrate. I'm kind of one of them right now. I would love to see Diallo start, or he probably won't start. He'll probably still start Garnacho and Anthony.
Yeah.
Well, if Garnacho doesn't play, then maybe Diallo does get a start. But look,
I start Anthony, but I keep that same energy. You like playing in championship sides that much?
We have to win again. You know what I mean? These games, I think we play Burnley after this. We have to win that too.
Those are literally Sheffield's 20th, Burnley 19th. So you've got a very, very kind run of games. And again, these next two.
Much like Coventry, these other two teams do have a lot to fight for. I'm sure they're not going to make it easy. You know what I mean? For Coventry, this is probably like the biggest game of the year for them. Whatever.
Bro.
So full props to them, and we got to give props to Sheffield as well. They will probably put in a fight, especially against United.
Look, I think their season's done. Now they're playing for pride. It's not safety. Enough, They're playing for pride. But like Burnley, 2 points behind Luton.
There's a chance.
3 points behind Nottingham Forest. 3 points from safety for Burnley.
But again, hopefully these teams learn that much like the Coventry thing, don't sit back against United. Play open. They will let you play open. They will let you do what you want. You will be able to fucking move up this pitch fast, bro. So Sheffield could learn a thing or two, but I think United fucking have to still win this.
I don't think Sheffield have the players for it, bro.
Did you think Coventry did?
No, I didn't. But again, cup competitions, the occasion. It was at Coventry's home.
No, and look, that's another thing. Like, these are the tournaments where these things do happen.
That's why we love the game,
exactly,
bro.
where the small team beats the Premier League giants, and that's why like this. Like, think about how hard this would have been remembered if Coventry won. This would have been
iconic.
Yeah, this would have been like an FA Cup.
People would have been saying this is why the FA Cup still matters as much as it does.
Exactly.
And stuff,
so, which is sad, because like it does take away a lot of the shine from United winning. Because again, I think everyone, a lot of United fans included, would have been happier if Coventry just won. We didn't deserve the win. Yeah. Hopefully, we will deserve a win against Sheffield, and I mean, we should do it.
On to all things Arsenal, and we got a win against Wolves. A nice, comfortable win at the weekend.
These are the wins you should be getting. These are the wins late into the season. Yeah,
Villa should have been another one. But like I said, I wasn't at panic station, and I was just happy to see the team bounce back with the win, bro. We've had a very drab week. Obviously, the Villa game, the Bayern games, hasn't been good.
It's been tough.
We needed this Wolves win. Absolutely, we needed this Wolves win. And I'm so happy for Leandro Trossard coming through, getting another goal. He's having a really good season, bro.
He is. No, he is.
Really, really good season. He's quite the utility player, bro.
I was going to say, you could argue to have a better one if he played more.
That is true. But like I've said, from my perspective, whenever I have seen him start, for the most part, I do prefer him coming off the bench. But he had every reason to start this game. And he showed exactly why he should, bro. He got him. He basically won the game for us. Let's say it as it is, bro. He won the game for us. Odegaard scoring a 95th minute goal, just kind of icing on the cake at that point, because it was job done. And it was a solid performance. But I mean, it was at Wolves' home. They had 5 shots in total. We had 24. Yeah, so possession-wise, I don't even know what the position was. 46% to Wolves. We were comfortable, bro. It was a win that we needed. It was a performance that we needed, and we are taking that with us into tonight's game, Arsenal versus Chelsea.
This is a big one. Look, Chelsea are in a weird state because they looked decent against City, and they also beat Everton 6-0. So they are in kind of like that. That's not bad. You know what I mean? You could argue with the chances they had, they should have beat City in that FA Cup semi.
Yeah, they should have. I mean, I don't think it's definitely not the first time we're saying that this season. There've been a lot of games. I'm kind of just hoping that this isn't another game of the season contender for Chelsea, because I would love to have a stress-free evening. I can't lie.
Dude, Chelsea live their life full of stress, bro. they breed on the stress, dude.
They're currently fighting. I heard some Chelsea fans saying that they've now got a chance for 6th. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Chelsea finish ahead of United this season.
Yeah? United, you think they get Europa League?
United is currently 7th. Chelsea are 9th by fucking 4 points. So I think, judging by the form, I think Chelsea look in a much better position than United do. Yeah. I don't think United would ever beat Everton 6-0.
The downside is that as things stand, Chelsea on 47 points, United on 50. Chelsea have a game in hand. This is their game in hand.
Yes.
So we could do you guys a favor tonight.
No, yeah, we could, and I think there's a chance later in the season where United could do the same.
The favor. Yeah.
So I would love nothing more than for Arsenal to win the league. But I think in a game like this, it's going to be tough. Chelsea are going to fight.
Yeah.
And because I think, like you said, Chelsea also they see they kind of can get 7th, 6th. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, I'm someone that absolutely takes head-to-head results into consideration, and Arsenal have absolutely had Chelsea's number for the past like 3 seasons.
Yes.
Bro, so
and they should continue with the form they're in. It should continue.
And again, Chelsea players, as much as we do want to praise them, and they do play attractive football when they want to, getting knocked out like that by City is going to be deflating.
Yes.
I think to some degree, these are young. It's a young team, bro.
No, and Nico Jackson had a ton of chances. They obviously the free kick, which should have been a penalty. Yeah. Chelsea should have won that game.
So I think they're going to be a bit deflated. I think Arsenal spirits are a little bit higher again after that Wolves win. We know that a win here is going to give us it's a much bigger gap on Man City. How many points we on? We're on 74. City on 73. Yeah, we're on 4 points ahead of them. And yes, they'll have 2 games in hand, but I'd rather have points on the board.
And also, there's big talks of City not starting Foden and Haaland and stuff this week. So
a lot's going Arsenal's way, bro. Even in the Champions League, a lot went our way.
Yeah, even though they didn't get through.
Even though we didn't get through.
But look, City is definitely not the same City. I say this all the time. They are not. If there was ever a time for another team to win, it's now.
They're still great. City are still great. No one can take that from them. But yeah, I mean, you look at the win probability for this game. Arsenal got a 67% win probability. I don't think that that's by mistake. That's literally just the way of how football's going right now. Chelsea, you cannot count on them for consistency. So there's one thing if they look good this week, but for the next 2 weeks after that, it's anyone's guess. And I don't see them. It's a home game for Arsenal. As much as I want to rely on the home form, it is a big game. Like you had said, anything can happen in these big games. But I can't look past Arsenal, bruv.
No, you can't. Look, even as a neutral fan, I know you can't.
I didn't look past Arsenal for the Villa game. But look, Arsenal also come to the party when it's big games. Let's be real. Especially in recent times under Mikel Arteta. You know, when we won that first FA Cup in his first 6 months in, no one expected him to win a FA Cup. No one expected him to take out Liverpool and Chelsea on the way to do it.
Yeah.
But he did it, bro. So we've got players. A lot of those players aren't in the team anymore, but we've got much better players who are much stronger mentally as well. So I think that this is a good game for us. I think the players, look, they played that Wolves game like they had a bit of a chip on the shoulder after the Champions League knockout.
Yeah.
So you can kind of count on them to throw everything they have at Chelsea now.
And they have to.
And they have to.
At this point in the season,
there's no need to rest players now. It's the only competition that we are in, bro.
Again, though, you could argue the same thing for City. They're exactly. Without Champions League, obviously they are still in the FA Cup, but that's a whiles away. Yep. So they can put a lot of their focus in just the league for the next couple of weeks.
True. And
so it's going to be tough.
So all Arsenal can do, beat whoever's ahead of you.
Yeah.
I told you now before we started recording, I don't see City going on an absolute win streak till the end of the season. I see there is opportunity for maybe points to be dropped here and there, maybe a draw.
Yeah.
But Arsenal got tough games as well, bro. So if I was Arteta, I'm telling him, don't worry about anything City's doing. You just play your game against the team that we are playing against. And so it seems simple enough to say that, but it must be so difficult to not take note of that shit when you are playing for this team, bro.
I know, and also I'm assuming, like, as Arsenal fans and managers and players and stuff, you are reminded about this every day.
All the time,
like,
bro.
You can't go anywhere without people saying...
You're looking at... I'm sure there's certain players, like Ethan Nwaneri, you know what I mean? He wasn't even born the last time we won the league. Like, all these players that genuinely have nothing to do with this history, but because the club is so big, bro, it's on their shoulders.
And also because of the position they're in.
And because of the position they're in, it's on their shoulders, bro. So I understand I don't understand, but I would understand if it's a lot for them to take. So I hope Arteta is doing everything he can to keep them level-headed. Our best chance of winning tonight with 10 men on the pitch. Mm-hmm. We don't need any
with 10
aesthetics.
Men on the pitch.
10 men, 11.
You going in with less people, bro?
Our best chance.
What strategy is that?
just get one of those players, get Zinchenko out, bro.
What formation does Arteta have going here? 10 men?
Our best chance of winning is with 11 men on the pitch, sorry. And yeah, man, we should do it. I honestly think that tonight we see a midfield of Odegaard, Rice, and Partey.
And Partey, yeah.
Because as good as I always give, as good as I think Jesus is, I think we played better with Havertz as striker.
For sure.
We definitely played better with Havertz as striker. And a lot of people have always speaking about the one thing that like Arsenal lack, you know, like Man City, they had like a Gundogan towards the end of the season who just goes on this hot streak. And they get these key players that play such a vital role in the final games. Mm-hmm. And I realize now that at Arsenal, someone like Thomas Partey returning from injury now, and he's been injury free in his last few cameos and stuff.
But he hasn't done anything like crazy in those last cameos. He's come on and he's been aight.
I think so far his cameos have just been build fitness. Don't injure yourself again. Because the last season he'd come back from injury and in that game he returns, he goes off again. So I think Arteta was just like, bro, just don't hurt yourself. Because everyone is very quick to forget how good this guy was. Like last season.
No, for sure. But injuries do change people.
They do.
And before Eriksen got injured, he was amazing. He came back, he was Madison, before he got injured, amazing. He comes back now.
To Arteta's credit, to Partey's advantage, I think he hadn't had any like ACL type injury. It was muscle.
Yeah, but he was still out for a long time.
He was out for a long time. I don't know, bro. I think what works to his credit is just the fact that he does have a shorter injury record than the other players mentioned. Obviously, I could be wrong, but I think that someone of his caliber and his profile is the type of dude that you want going into the last 4 games of a season.
I just don't know. I just don't know against Arsenal. I mean, against Chelsea. The Chelsea are like attacking wise, it's a very attacking team.
Thomas Partey is literally known as like the octopus because he was.
I was going to say that's what I'm saying.
Pre-injury.
You would much rather be like better testing him out against like a Brighton or a West Ham or something. Chelsea is like all attack, all gas, no breaks.
Maybe.
So I think he could get overwhelmed.
But you'd rather start Jorginho.
I probably would. Yeah. Also, he knows Chelsea. You know what I mean?
He does. So does Havertz.
Yeah. So does Havertz. I would start Jorginho just because also like. With the games Jorginho has played, he's done well.
Consistency. No, Jorginho's been one of our best players.
Yeah, he's done.
If anything, you could argue he should have been brought into the team sooner. Because he started out in just these big moment matches.
So for a game like this, where it is so big, where it is so important, I would rather just keep to the status quo. Whatever's working, which is Jorginho.
The only reason I could think Partey would come in for Jorginho for this game is just because of mobility.
I know. But that's fine. You have Declan Rice now. He can do all the mobility.
And Jorginho has shown time and time again this season that he doesn't need to be fast. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. Like I said, I think that is my predicted midfield. I just have a feeling that Arteta's going to do it for this game because, again, Chelsea can't see that coming, bro. You don't prepare for that. You haven't seen Partey nearly enough this season. It's a really nice spanner to throw in the works, you know. And then, up top, I think Havertz. I think Trossard should start. He should start again.
But then he should be starting in the striker position.
That's what I was saying now. Like speaking about Havertz starting, I was like, Jesus coming out for Havertz, but at the same time, it could be Jesus and Havertz coming out for Trossard. To be fair, Trossard probably has a shout to start ahead of Martinelli on the wing. So
yeah, Martinelli's been very cold.
He's been hot cold. He's also.
I'm gonna be honest. Saka's been fucking cold as hell too.
He has been.
What has Saka done in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, he has been. He has definitely been cold. But like we spoke about it on the last episode, he's been running to the ground. This is the problem. He needs rotation. He needs to be rotated.
So then I would argue don't start Saka this week, although you have to.
Against Charles. But again, this probably gives room for, if he doesn't start Jesus tonight, maybe you don't start Saka next week. You start Jesus on the wing. Possibly.
Yeah, possibly.
Obviously, I think Arteta is going to be absolutely stubborn about starting his best 11 weekend because, again, it's the only competition we have now. So you could argue that Saka has enough time to recover, but this is a double week.
Yeah,
Wolves was the first game.
Week, yeah.
Chelsea's the second game. It's not like the games have gotten any easier.
Yeah.
Wolves was tough enough away from home. We made it good. And now Chelsea at home is always a tough one. So I'd love to see Saka get a rest, but this isn't the game.
Yeah, I don't think this is the game.
Maybe he comes off a bit early. He did look good against Wolves. I'll give him that. He looked decent.
Did he?
Yeah, he looked decent. But also, again, when he came walking off, bro, like stiff legs. Like he's absolutely feeling the season. So
yeah.
I'm so far from criticizing this kid for not putting in stellar performances when everything he did up until now has been brilliant, bro. You look at his Champions League record alone. First time ever in the Champions League, and he's busy going toe-to-toe for Bellingham.
Yeah, no, he's
solid.
He's a star boy, but
so it's
about him needing to come through in these important last couple of games.
That is true, but wouldn't you were watching a podcast just now about like ex-Man United players who can say certain things about the club because they've been able to do that for the team while they were playing for them. As like I said in the last episode, Saka and Odegaard, none of them are at the age yet where they can have that clout. I don't think we have any. No one is a game winner at 22 like Roy Keane was at 26, 27 when he was captaining. And no one is a game winner like Rio Ferdinand at 28 in his prime, holding that back line with Vidic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like there are a few. Like I'd argue Bellingham. You know what I mean? Like they are. Those
I mean
players.
At Arsenal. I just mean at Arsenal.
Okay, fair enough.
We don't have that at Arsenal.
Those players do exist. Though.
They do, and they are hard to come by.
And Saka should be close to one of them by now.
I think it makes sense that everyone expects that of him.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it makes sense. But I guess maybe it's just the Arsenal fan in me who's kind of like.
It's the same thing with like Rashford last season. He was like a game winner. You expect him to be able.
But again, last season he was 26 years old, 27 years old.
Yeah.
Like you at that age now where you are a senior player. Bukayo Saka for his age should still be considered not a senior.
Yeah, but again, the entire team is not seniors. Then there's like 3 people who are over.
Yeah, I guess that's why I give a lot of leeway, bro. When people start talking about how these players they don't have it in them, I'm like, yeah, they don't, bro. They're 22. Like, give them another 3 seasons and you'll see them walking with pressure. But I'm patient. I still say this season, whether we win it or not, we've got a brilliant opportunity to win it. If we don't win it, I'll be bummed. But I'm not saying Arteta out. I'm saying next season we go again.
Yeah, it's another year in this Arsenal project. It's another year to develop. This, like you said, these players are so young. This isn't anywhere close to the final product.
I think next season we're going to see him make some more Jorginho type signings. Bring in someone with experience.
They need Lukaku. They need a striker.
As for this Chelsea game, I'm going to put a score on it and I'm going to say we don't do clean sheets at home anymore. So I'm going to say 3-1. I've been making a trend of a 3-1 prediction. It hasn't worked so far since I've been making them. But I'm going to say 3-1 Arsenal. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a very open game. Both teams are going to be attacking. I don't think Chelsea know how to not be open. So I'm going to go I'm going to go 4-2. Arsenal win.
4-2? I'll take a 4-2, bro. Obviously, the last time we played Chelsea in the league at Stamford Bridge, horrible Jorginho mistake that led to Chelsea scoring a goal and it was ended up being a draw. Should have won that game.
Yeah.
We should be able to rectify that tonight, and the forms suggest that we will. Let us know what you guys think about this game.
Let us know what you think about United's game too. We're playing Sheffield. Who do you think is going to win?
That is true. And a game that we're not really going to get into detail on, but just because it does hold weight in the title race. Man City playing Brighton away on Thursday night. Brighton obviously up and down, up and down, up and down.
So up and down.
Considering Man City's injury, I know you reckon they'll get a result with or without those players.
I think they will. Yeah, I think Brighton's whole up and down does not help.
Against them too much, bro.
If they were slightly better, if they were in better form or they looked more consistent, I would say Brighton. They're in with a shot.
It's a sneaky draw.
No, I don't think so. Brighton's last game was a draw against Burnley.
I'm just being hopeful.
I do not see that going. Even the City they don't have to play Foden. They don't have to play Haaland. They don't have to play half the team.
What happened to Mitoma, bro? Like everyone, I think injuries screwed him also this season. To be fair.
Dude, what happened to that entire team?
What happened to that entire team? They should never ever have sold Caicedo.
Dude, who knew he was the fucking glue holding this whole thing together?
Look, Ethan, onto some somber times to end off on. We've avoided it enough. Fantasy League.
Fantasy League.
These last 2 weeks have been a bit of a fever dream for you.
Yeah, I don't want to relive them.
But as things stand now, the last time we showed you the log and everything, Ethan was first and I was fourth.
Well, we've completely flipped that because I'm now fourth and Logan's first.
Completely flipped it, yeah. I scream of a week last week. Razine as well. Shout out Razine.
I'll tell you why. Everyone captained Cole Palmer.
Yep, and that's the one player you don't have.
And I don't even have him in my team. So as soon as that happened, everyone else just shot ahead of me.
Yeah, I think once Palmer scored the second, I was still telling you, hey, but he's not going to outdo Haaland.
Because I had Haaland as captain, who got a goal and an assist.
This is when Palmer scored 4. This is that game week where Palmer scored 4.
So you could imagine how that screwed me. But yes, I am now fourth. Logan is first.
Yeah.
Razine is second. Nathaniel is third.
Shout out, guys. Shout out, gents.
Between the 3 of them, there's like a 10-point difference, 11-point.
Yeah, dude, there is a 1-point gap between myself and Rizzo in first and second. And then there's 11 points between me and Nate in third. So things are heating up. Ethan, have you done anything big brain for this week? Obviously, it's the double week. As things stand, I am doing shit. 23 points.
I didn't do any. I've got 49 points, I think. Just click on my team there. I think I've got 49 points. The only changes I made was I took some guys out that weren't going to play, like Connor Bradley. I knew he wasn't going to play, so I put Taylor in. You
damn near doubled the week's average, so it's a week you needed.
Well, yeah, so far. And then I also did put Rico Lewis in my team for... I took someone out. I think it may have been the Palace defender, Richards. I took Lewis in my team because he's cheap as all.
Yeah.
And I think with the way that City are like rotating, it's very like he could start. You know what I mean?
I had him in my team a few weeks ago, and for every week I had him, he didn't play. Then I sold him, and then he scored. I think he got an assist or a goal.
So yeah, I've got 2 players who might not play this week, Foden and Haaland. So I'm probably gonna get the Harry Maguire points. But yeah, so far I've been saved by Mateta. Mateta
had a great week, 16 points. That's without being your captain,
and that's with him playing 1 game. He's playing a double this week. But Mateta has very comfortably been doing well these last couple of weeks. I'm glad Muniz as well. I've got Muniz in my team. He got 5 points at least for me this week against Liverpool. But yeah, look, it's interesting. I'm basically out of the title race. I still have a bench boost, which I will use at some point, but I am out.
There's an Arsenal double week coming up.
Yeah, and I think City. I think like 30 points, 31 points away from the top, so I'm basically
Life
out.
comes at you fast. Look, if I could close that type of gap, anything can happen, bro.
Yeah, but again, I would have to then get Salah. Salah would have to. I have Salah in my team, and I'm the only one with him, so I would need him to be the differential to perform.
Enough. And Salah should start pushing now,
but
bro.
he's been he didn't even start their last game against Fulham.
Yeah,
so
he's leaving. At the end of the
yeah,
season.
he probably is.
He's leaving, bro.
And ever since coming back from injury, though, Salah has not done much. I've had him on my team this entire time. I've banked on him, and he's completely failed me.
That is true. It's unfortunate, but you still got some potential point scorers.
I should get decent points this week. I should.
Your Branthwaite did well for you. Pickford did well for you, bro. 8 points from Pickford. So yeah, you're gonna close that gap a bit more. But it doesn't help that Rizzo's got like 7 players that have double weeks this week. So I'm also in some very, very, very shaky territory.
You've obviously brought in Højlund this week.
I brought in Højlund. It's a bit of a galaxy brain move for me. I took out Ivan Toney because Brentford are done with him.
Apparently they are done with him. They're offering him to teams for 40 mil.
40 mil. No one's taking the bait yet. I mean, no talks that I've seen. I think there's obviously rumors you'll hear from every outlet, but like no concrete, like, we'll go for it.
There might be something more there. There might be something. There might be something, but like 40 mil is way too cheap. There might be some fucking like sketchy shit happening.
Spurs are definitely going to make the move, bro. I see it happening. But yeah, let us know what you guys think of your FPL chances. What do you do, bro? What do you do?
What do I do?
How does Ethan save this league for himself? Give him some advice in the comments.
Please.
Just one transfer that can make the difference. Listen, we're going to leave it there. Arsenal-Chelsea is the only game on the night. Up the Gunners, bro. Let us know what you guys think. As I've said, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.